morning, creativity class, and welcome to Arts and Crafts with Miss Elizabeth. So today we're going to make this little carrot garden. Can't really see on the camera. There we go. And the materials that we'll need are going to be 2 plates. We're going to need a pair of scissors, the stencil that I sent you, which has 2 pieces on it. And then you will need a stapler. And depending on what you have, you can either use glue, this white glue, you can use a glue stick, or you can use tape. And I'll show you how to use all 3. The last thing is that we'll need colored markers. You can use colored pencils, colored crayons, or paint if you want to use paint, but because I don't have that stuff right now, I'm going to use colored markers, and what you'll need is green, brown, blue, and orange. And then lastly, you will need paper. So if you don't have colored paper, you can use just plain white paper, and then we can use these markers to color them in, or you can use colored paper. So I also have green colored paper, and then I also have orange colored paper. So I'll show you how to do both. Okay, so first thing, what we're going to want to do, we're going to want to take our plates that we have. One of the plates we're going to want to keep the whole plate, so it's going to look like a circle. And the other plate we're going to want to cut in half. So to do that, we want to fold the plate in half, like this. Fold it over. We're going to pinch the sides on both sides, and then right down the middle. So we're going to squeeze it down. And we can push flat on the plate to make sure that it's all the way down. Okay, once we have that, we can open it back up, and you'll see a line that goes right across here. And that's the line that we're going to want to cut with our scissors. So let's see. Cut, cut. So since this week's theme is plants, that's why we're going to make this little garden with carrots. I'm sure Miss Lorraine and Miss Marie are talking about all the different ways we can plant plants right now, all the different kinds of plants. Lots of stuff we can do inside and outside. Okay, so now that we have cut our plate in half, we only want to keep one of these halves right now, so we can put the other one to the side. Okay, for this, we want to keep this plate the way that it is, but this bigger one we're going to want to smush down. So we can use our hands and smush it all the way down. We want it to be flat. We can even use the stapler that we have, because it's heavy. We can spread it across. We just want it to be more flat because the plate kind of has these little curves in it, and we want it to be flat like this. Okay, so for our big whole plate, we're going to want to use the color blue to color, because this is going to be what looks like the sky for us. If you have a colored pencil, you can use that. If you have a crayon, you can use blue. If you have paint and you want to paint and mommy and daddy are okay with you painting, then that's okay. But I don't have paint, so I can't show you how to paint. But for the blue, I'm going to use a colored marker, and you're going to want to flip the plate over. So mine has a shiny side, and mine has a not shiny side. So the not shiny side is what we want, because the color won't show through. it'll get kind of shiny looking and it won't stay. So we're gonna do the not shiny side. What we're going to do is we're gonna put this plate on top, our second half plate. So underneath this, we can kind of move it to the side a little bit. And we're gonna put a mark right here. And we can do that on this other side as well. Just like this. Okay, once we have that, then that's how we know that that's kind of the halfway mark. What we want to do is we actually want to color below that, because then it's going to show that there won't be any color there. So we want to kind of go a little bit further down, maybe like another half. Like that. Okay, once we have those lines, we can draw a line all the way across with our marker so it looks like this. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to color with our marker from this line going all the way up. So we want to color this big space here. I'll go ahead. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's a sky. The sky's never perfectly blue, so it can look however you want it to look, as long as it's mostly blue, and we're using the color blue, then that's all right. As you start coloring past this middle part, so you can see that I have this whole middle part colored, and I don't have the outside part colored. It gets a little bit trickier on the outside because that's where it has that little curved part. It's not totally flat. So for that, that's the part that we want to make sure we have something else that we can color on top of, because it might get on the table or on something else that we don't want it to get on. So let's go ahead and put it on something else. We can keep coloring. And with your marker, usually I have found that if you don't put as much pressure, so you don't push so hard, then the color actually comes out better. When you push really, really hard, then it doesn't really show. Okay. So now that I have finished coloring this bigger plate, this is our sky. And what we're going to want to do is now work on our smaller half-size plate. So this half-size plate is actually going to look like the dirt. And I'm sure you all know what color the dirt is, so we're going to work with a brown marker this time. Once again, we're going to want to go on the not shiny side because the color won't stay on this shiny side. It doesn't have to be perfect because dirt doesn't ever look perfect. It looks kind of splotchy, different shades of brown, so it's okay if it looks not all perfectly one color. His name is Dax. Okay, back to coloring. So once we come, like I said, for the sky, when we come on this outer part, after we've colored the inside circle, you're going to want to use something to color on top of because this curve is harder. So I just colored on this paper, but if I didn't have this, it would have gone on my table. And we don't want that because then things get messy. So keep coloring on the paper or on the newspaper, whatever you have to color on top of to keep it clean. this is kind of a tricky part that's coming up. If mommy and daddy are there to help you, then that would be great. They could help you, but if not, then I will teach you how to do this. So what we want to do is we want to put our dirt over our sky. And this is where our stapler comes in handy. So it's kind of heavy. So you're going to want to put these down on the table. Make sure it's kind of level, like it matches. The circles match at the bottom. And then you can put it down and hold it with your thumb and your second finger, like this, between. And when you hold that, you want to hold it a little bit far away. So this is where we're stapling. We don't want our fingers to be anywhere close to that because we could hurt our finger. So if we have it a little bit further away and we hold it with these two fingers so we keep it in place, we can take our stapler and keep it on the table, and we can put this in between and we push down so it staples, and that way it's stuck together. Okay, then we're going to want to put 4 staples in it, okay? So we'll move our fingers again, these 2 fingers over here. We're going to want to put a staple here. Same thing, put it on the table. Keep the stapler on the table. You don't have to hold it in one hand. And you're going to want to push down. Okay, then we're going to want to move our fingers again. We'll pick another spot right here. And we'll staple that again. So we'll push down. And then the last one, we don't have to hold it with 2 fingers because it's pretty much already on there. But we just want to have one more staple here so this stays on here. So we can put our 2 fingers on the blue. And then we'll put this in between the stapler and we push down with one hand. There we go. Now we have our dirt and our sky. Okay, once we have that, then we're going to want to move on to the carrot. So we don't need the stapler anymore. We can put this to the side. We don't need our brown and our blue anymore, so we can put this to the side. What we do need right now is our green marker, and we need our orange marker. We need our green paper, and then we need our orange paper. Or if we don't have these colored pieces of paper, we can use just plain white paper. And then we need our stencil, like our little picture that I sent you. Miss Marie and Miss Lorraine sent you this. Okay, so what we want to do first is we want to take our little stencil and we want to take our scissors. So we're going to cut this. Now what I like to do is because it's 2 different pieces, I like to cut in between them. So then I can focus on just one piece at a time. It gets less overwhelming. So I can focus just on this part and then we can cut the second piece second. Okay. So we want to try to cut outside of the line. But this is kind of what it looks like. We want to cut on the outside of the line. And try to cut as much on the line as you're able to. All the way around. And you can take your time with this. However long it takes you to cut this out is okay. So just take your time because you want to try to get it cut to the best of your ability. But it's okay if it doesn't work out. I just cut off this line down here. So just as long as it kind of looks like the shape that we want it to look like. Now that we have this piece cut out, we actually want to keep this scrap because we're going to use it later. So we'll keep that, put it to the side. Now we want to cut out our second piece. We'll do the same thing. Cut it out like this. And I think it's also really good if we cut it out like this, because then we're saving this big chunk of paper. We can use it for something else. And it's really good to save paper because we want to save our friends that are trees. So let's keep this whole piece kind of together so we can use this again for more arts and crafts. Okay, so now we have our second piece of paper. This one's kind of tricky, so I'm actually going to come up to the camera as well. Start down here, and when you get to this corner, you have to turn the scissors. Get all the way down here, and you want to turn the paper. This. So what you can do is you can either keep turning the scissors like this, but I think it's easier to turn the paper. So the direction that the scissors cut in, you want to turn it. So because I cut this here, and I want to cut this one next, I want to turn the paper to make it easier for me to cut that. Same thing, we'll turn the little carrot pieces. Then and we put both of our scraps to the side. So we'll keep those here. What we want to do, and I'll show you both ways. If you have colored paper, so we'll start with doing colored paper. I'm going to start with my green. So what I want to do is I want to take this stencil that we just made, which we can also use as a carrot. So you can, on the first one that I made, I actually decided to keep these stencils as just plain carrots. I mean, as a plain stencil. So I didn't use them because I wanted to have all of them look the same. So these are all made with colored papers, like this. You can have a couple different things. So you can have all colored papers like this. You can have all white paper that you color with markers, or you can have both. So today I'm going to show you how to do both. So I'm going to have a mixture of different kinds of carrots. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take our stencil and we want to color, we want to trace with our marker around the outside of the stencil. So we want to hold down the piece, and we'll start by tracing around our stencil with the marker. And you want to hold it down with your fingers the best that you can because it will move. And then we won't get the shape. So I've gone around this way, but my hand is here now. So I'm going to start coming this other way, and you kind of have to shift your fingers, move them a little, your hand. Come around this way. And this piece is coming up, so I'm going to use my finger to hold it down. And then now my hand is here, so I have to move it again. And come down. There we go. And we have our shape. We want to cut our piece of paper. So we'll do the same thing that we did with the white paper with our stencil. We're going to cut the piece out. Okay, so now we have one piece here. I'm going to go to my orange paper. And we're going to take the stencil again. this time we're taking the body of the carrot. So we're taking this part of the carrot. We want to take the body of the carrot, put it on our colored paper, and we want to do the same thing. Once we've finished that, we can put our stencil down, and we'll take our scissors again. We'll cut the box out. Okay, so this is what we have. We'll do the same thing and we'll cut out the whole thing or on the outside of the line. These scraps again. Okay, now these are our pieces for the carrot. So you can keep the line if you like the look of the line here, where it's the color of the marker, but I like to turn it so then you don't see it, just because I think it looks nice. And this is what it's gonna look like once we glue or tape it together. So this is done because we use colored paper. We don't have to color anything. So once we have that, we can put this aside. Unless you aren't going to use white paper. So if you are only going to use this colored paper, then you have to cut out 2 more because we want 3 total carrots. There are three carrots here. So we want all 3. So if you're using colored paper, then you need to cut out all 1, 2, 3 colored carrots. Okay, but because I'm going to show you both, I'm only going to cut out 1. And I'm going to use white paper, which I'm going to use this piece of white paper that I was already using before. So we'll keep using the same piece so we don't waste any paper. Okay, so I'm going to take this little green leaf part of our carrot. I'm going to put it on this piece of white paper and use the marker. Okay. Now that I've done that, I'm actually going, before I cut it, I'm going to color it in because it's on white paper. It's already on this paper, so it's not going to get onto anything else. Whereas if we cut it out, if I'm trying to color this, it's really easy for me to get that on the table. So we're going to try to color it here. And that is colored in. Okay, so now what we can do is we can cut that. Okay, now we have our green stem. We can put that to the side. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stencil that we cut out earlier, we've been using to trace with our marker, and I'm going to color this. I'm going to put it on my piece of paper that I'm going to use to color because I won't have to cut out another one. So if you want to, there's a whole different way to do this. You can cut out with this paper and only use this paper. You can cut out with white paper and color it in, which we're going to finish doing with this. And also, if you're using white paper and you don't have the colored paper, then you can just end up using your stencil as the third carrot because it's already on white paper and you just color it in. Okay, so we're going to take our stencil carrot top and we'll color that in. Okay, so I've colored that in. Perfect. We'll let that dry. Okay, and I have another scrap here. I'll put that with my scraps. Okay, so we have to cut out our last carrot stem, or carrot body, I'm not really sure. Okay, we're going to use our orange marker. We'll put our orange carrot stencil right on a piece of white paper. And we'll do the same thing that we've done for everything else. So we want to trace around it with our marker. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to cut out a square again. Okay, we'll save this paper for something later. We want to cut this out. Now we have the stencil piece that I just used, and we also have the piece that I just cut out that you just saw. So we're actually going to color both of these pieces. And we'll keep this scrap, we'll put it to the side. Okay, so using our orange marker. Sorry, my eyes are itchy. Allergies. Okay, so we're going to use the orange marker. We can color just one at a time. It's getting on the paper. That's why I'm using this, because once again, we don't want to get our table messy. As you're doing this art video, if you have to take a little bit of extra time to do something like cutting or coloring, that's okay. You can just press the pause button on this video. So then you can take your time to finish doing that, and then you can restart it when you're ready for the next step, because we all take different amounts of time to do this, so that's okay. So, I'll put this aside. So what I have now is I have 1 carrot, 2 carrot, 3 carrots with all their little leafy tops. And I'm going to set them out like that. So we actually do not need our scissors anymore. We can put our scissors to the side. We do not need our markers, so we can put that to the side. And I already put the colored paper to the side. We don't need that. So what we are going to need right now is glue stick, white glue, or if you don't have any of those, then tape. And I'll show you how to do all of them. So for the first one, for this guy, we're going to flip it over, because we want it to be on the side that we don't want people to see. So if you don't want people to see this side with the lines, which I don't, that's going to be the back part for me. And for these ones that are white paper, the part that's white and not orange is the part that you'll put the glue or the tape on. Okay, so starting with this one, we'll go ahead and try tape first. What we want to do for this is we want to take a piece of tape that's like about this big, and we want to rip it like that. Okay, this part's kind of tricky. What you do is you have this piece of tape on your finger, and you want to take the top part right here, and fold it over. And you take your thumb and you hold the corner of it like that. So it's folded in half, kind of. Just a little bit. And then what you want to do is you want to take the other half and you want to fold it on top of what you just folded. So we're going to fold it around underneath where your thumb was. And it turns out to be this little roll. You can kind of see in that it looks like that. And what that does is it makes both sides of it sticky. So we want both sides to be sticky. We're going to take this piece and we're going to put this tape right in the middle and at the top. And we push down. So what that does is that sticks to the carrot, and then this outside part is still sticky. So we want to take our carrot top and the side that I don't want people to see, which is this side, I'm going to put that on the tape just like that and squeeze. You can hold it for like 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we have a carrot. So we have one carrot. Now I'm going to show you how to, we've already used the tape. If you are going to use glue stick or regular glue, you do actually want to have something that you can work on. So I'm going to use my trusty little paper. So for the glue stick, move this way, we're going to want to flip it on to the orange. So the orange is facing down, and then we have the white facing up. And for a glue stick, I want to rub it in the exact same spot pretty much that we put this tape on. We want to put a little bit just right here, so it looks like this. And if your glue is not purple, that's okay, but just a general idea that this is kind of where we want to have the glue, and that's the amount of glue that we want. Okay, so we want to take our next piece, our little carrot top, and the same thing, we want the white to be, we want to look at the white because we want the green to come out like this. So we want to look at the white, and we'll put, the reason why we have this part down at the bottom, this half down here, this is the part that we want to put onto the glue or the tape. So we want to put that on, and we'll hold, push down for 10 seconds. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that should be dry. So there's our next carrot. We have 2 carrots now. Now our third carrot, I'm going to show you, I'll put the glue stick away. If you only have tape, or you only have a glue stick, or you only have this glue, then you can just watch the part that I show how to do that part, and then you can use that as an example for the other 2 carrots to do. So for this white glue, we want to open that. And all of you guys know that you only use 1 drop, just like in school, we just use 1 drop. So in the same spot that we did the glue stick and the tape, we want to put 1 drop there. There we go. And then we're going to take the top of our carrot here. The white we should be looking at as well, just like what we did with the other ones. And we want to put that down right on our glue. And we'll push down and hold it for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so this will probably be a little bit wet still, but it's definitely going to stick on there. So if you have any glue that's kind of sticking out, I have a little tissue and I'm just going to wipe that off because I don't want it to get everywhere. Okay, so here is the third carrot. We have 3 beautiful carrots. And we're going to move on to our next step. So now that we've done our 3 carrots, we can close this glue up, put that to the side. We have 1, 2, and 3 carrots. We have our sky and we have our dirt. And then we have our scraps, which we want to come back to our scraps. So we have all of these pieces of paper. We want to crunch these up as much as we can. So they look kind of like this. Crunchy crunchies. What we want to do is we want to put those inside this little pocket. And we want to push it all the way in. So it looks kind of like that. You can kind of see it a little bit from the top, but you want to try to push it in so you don't really see it. What that's going to do is, because this is a plate, it kind of makes a pocket, and you want to fill the space in with something so then the carrots don't fall out, because they're so small and thin because it's paper, they'll just slip right out and they won't stay. So last step is we've put our little crunchies in there, we've made our sky, and we've made our dirt, and we have all 3 carrots. We want to put these carrots into our garden. And then we have our 3 carrots. And we've planted them, they've grown, and now we can pull them out. Have a nice little snack. Delicious. Thanks for joining Arts and Crafts with Miss Elizabeth, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.